Test? Should we give it a test? Can you hear me? Hey, thank you. Well, thanks for bearing with us as we work out some kinks in our first groundbreaking of the year. My name's Carmen Kraus. I'm with the Salem-Keizer Public Schools Department of Community Relations and Communications, and it's my pleasure to welcome you here to Sprague High School, where we're celebrating the start of bond-funded construction. Woo! Yeah. In 2018, our community said yes to a nearly $620 million bond, which is dedicated to relief for overcrowding, preparing our schools for future enrollment, increasing safety and security, including seismic safety, expanding career and technical, or what we sometimes call vocational education programs, and maintaining our community's investment in school facilities. This bond promises improvements at learning environments all across the district, and we are so excited to be starting with Sprague today. We're honored to have a few elected officials in the audience today, and so before our program starts, I'd like to Salem's Mayor Chuck Bennett, who's here, and we'll hear from Chuck in a few minutes. Thank you. Also with us today is School Board Chair Satya Chandagiri, who represents District Board Zone 4, which includes Sprague. There you are. Thank you, Satya. So I think without further delay, we're ready to get started. So, Mayor Bennett, would you please come to the podium?
Well, thank you, Karma, very much, and thank you all very much for allowing me to be here today to celebrate this great addition and set of improvements to Sprague High School. As Karma mentioned, this first groundbreaking for Salem-Keizer in this year from the 2018 bond measure. I've had the real pleasure of being at many of Salem-Keizer's bond groundbreaking events. It's kind of what mayors do since this program really got underway in 2019. And there's so many schools in our community that are seeing improvements because of this bond. And that really means a lot of celebrations. The Salem and Keizer communities have both worked hard to make sure this bond meets the needs of our children, and it reflects the values of our community on the place education plays in our community. We all know that the bottom line is about what's best for the youth in Salem and Keizer, and that's why so many people have been behind this effort. This investment being made in our schools is truly an investment in the future of Salem, not just for our children, but for our economy as well. The bond that the community approved in 2018 is allowing for expansions or upgrades in all of Salem-Keizer public schools. This level of construction activity translates into millions of dollars of investment in our local economy at a time when it was really needed. So thank you to everyone who's been involved in this bond, from those who worked so hard getting voters to say yes to it, to those working here on this site, and particularly to those with hard hats and heavy equipment for getting this work done. And before I'd like to quickly say thank you to Nick Snyder from CTEC. Nick customized the tags that you see on our golden shirt today. Thank you, Nick and CTEC, for making this special memento of our celebration today. I now would like to invite Satya Chandragiri, the school board chairman, to come up and visit with you as well. Thank you again very much.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Mayor Bennett. My name is Satya Chandragiri, and it's a pleasure to be here today as School Board Zone 4. I'm happy to be part of this event today and to be celebrating our community's continued investment in school facilities. I want to share a message with you that speaks to the importance of our growing relationships with all communities. The Indian Education Department, in collaboration with the district's Indian Education Parent Advisory Committee, has prepared a land acknowledgement that the district will use at all our public events. I will now read the acknowledgement. The necessary trust to coexist in harmony with one another. Indigenous tribes and bands have been apparent on the lands of the Willamette Valley, across Oregon, and throughout the Americas since time immemorial. In this valley, the ancestry of Kalapuya reaches the furthest back in time, reminding us that this plentiful place has been called home by its original inhabitants long before the names of the snowy peaks and bountiful waters were re identified. Today, we acknowledge that the people of this land still exist and inhabit this valley not as heirs to it or artifacts, but as reciprocal contributors to the modern society we live in. We forward our respect to the first peoples of this land, the 9 federally recognized tribes of Oregon, and those who have ceded lands here. We reflect on the displacement, removal, and genocide of indigenous people that occurred throughout Oregon and beyond. In doing so, we truly honor the gravity of the past and endeavor to see that people may live in harmony and equity on this land for posterity. May this acknowledgement carry resonance as a tool over the land and waters we mutually rely upon. Please join us in uncovering such truths at any and all public events. And now, I would like to invite Assistant Superintendent Dr. Craig Sproles to come and share a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Chandragiri. So as Satya said, my name is Craig Sproles. I'm one of 2 assistant superintendents in the school district, and incredibly excited to be able to share with the Sprague community breaking today. And I think it's important to recognize that we have a lot of people here celebrating, and the most important people to lift up are the students who are going to benefit from all of the work that we're doing together. Chad Barks and your team, this is one of those things. I was talking to Chad earlier and said, has it been hard to schedule all of the meetings and all of the planning and the design team? And he said, you know what? It really hasn't, because it's so hopeful work that we're going to be able to do to transform Sprague. So it is this is the start point of a lot of work that has been laid, and I'm a lot of people as we go through this today. So the first thing on my list is I'm supposed to say Superintendent Perry was not able to be here, and then she actually is here. So that first point right there, Karma, I'm going to skip over that, even though she is here. So Superintendent Christy Perry is one of the people in the audience today. So the Sprague job is the first one that we are celebrating, but we have many, many projects going on throughout the district. This is going to be our busiest summer of construction all over Salem-Keizer, with 17 schools starting work just this summer. We currently have construction going on at 7 schools with large projects at McKay and South Salem, which are major undertakings. And those of you that haven't had a chance to drive past, I look at the McKay project every day and amazed at the scope of that project, the way it's transforming our school district. But this is a day to celebrate Sprague. It's a great day to be an Olympian today because of the future of what the hope and the promise that this project represents. So first I want to recognize some people in the audience that we can give a shout out to. The construction services team and everyone in the construction and facilities office. The face of that is Joel Small, David Hughes, and Bob Collins, who's our contracted project management firm. So let's give a brief. They've done a great job running the bond project, but also doing hundreds of other things to keep our district moving forward as we're managing the bond project. Also want to introduce the project managers for Sprague who have been hands-on and will continue leading this project for the district. So please recognize Dave Wang and Frank Burke. Dave and Wayne, are you here? No, probably off actually doing work. Not celebrating work like we are. And then also I'd like to recognize our Chief Operations Officer, Mike Wolf. Mike, right there, do you want to wave real quick? Mike is overseeing globally the bond project and the bond program, and also puts in countless hours on behalf of the district, keeping our district moving forward as we out. Mike does it seamlessly and gracefully, so thanks, Mike. Lee Zumwalt from Pintz Construction is here today as well. That's Lee with in the hard hat. And Lee will talk in a few minutes about the magnitude of the work and give us some specifics. We also have several students in Salem-Keizer who have been working as well. So Pintz has been our contractor on several projects, including North Salem and McNary. And we look forward to another successful project here at Sprague. The designs for Sprague were drawn up by Anderson Shirley Architects, and John Shirley is here today. John, thank you. Anderson Shirley is another firm that the district has had the pleasure to work with in the past, and we're grateful for your work on the project as well. So a big shout out to our district communication team, and our district team is out in force today. So if you're part of our district comms team, can you raise your hand, please? So we have a lot of people, so thank you. And Caleb, thank you for the hand sanitizer, just to be careful as I approach the podium today. If you'd like more information about the project overall and the bond projects throughout the district website has little snippets about every other project going on with some videos of those projects. And so I'd encourage you all to take a minute and just see, it's interesting to see the scope of the projects. So, and then ultimately, we'd also like to thank our voters who made all of this possible. And I think this represents a strong support that Salem-Keizer has for their school systems. And it's a strong support for the students of today, but also our schools into the future, making them more safe and secure and student-friendly places. So the next person who's going to come and talk is a good friend and colleague and a strong supporter of the school district. And so that's Lisa Harnish. And she's from the Yes for Salem-Keizer Committee. And she's also a co-chair on the Community Bond Oversight Committee. So Lisa, come on up.
All right, so good morning, everybody. My name is Lisa Harnish, and I am the Executive Director for Marion and Polk Early Learning Hub. And it's a pleasure to be here today representing Yes for Salem-Keizer School Committee and also the Bond Oversight Committee. And I'm also a proud mama of 2 graduates from the Salem-Keizer School District. So it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you celebrating Sprague. It's really exciting for me to get to this point, now in the 3rd year of construction under this bond. And I have been a part and had the honor and pleasure to be a part of this from the beginning. From the early stages of examining the needs of our school buildings to working with the Yes for Salem-Keizer Schools Committee on now being a part of the Bond Oversight Committee. It's so wonderful to see everything coming to fruition, and I'm excited that this summer is going to be a really busy summer. The reason that this bond is so important is because of what it means for our children. I believe in the caliber of education our kids are receiving, and I'm a proud parent of Salem-Keizer graduates. One of the key influences on the student learning is the environment. This bond reflects our community's commitment to provide environments that offer safe, inspiring, productive places for students to grow and learn. When Salem and Keizer passed the bond, they said yes to relief for overcrowding, increased seismic activity, expanded opportunities for career and technical education, which means providing places to prepare the future workforce. Passing this bond was definitely a community-wide effort, and there are so many people to thank for their hard work. I want to specifically acknowledge the work, thank the community for their support and involvement throughout the process. From focus groups to listening sessions to sharing feedback and input, the community's voice was woven throughout the whole process. And last, I'm confident when I say it's unlikely that we would be here today with Pekun. Pekun knocked on thousands of doors all across our Salem and Keizer. And they were instrumental in getting the word out to the voters on the importance of the bond. And I am so thankful that we had Pekun as partners throughout this process. They couldn't be here today, but we are just really want to acknowledge them. So please thank them when you see them in the community. And next, I'd really like to thank the guy that's going to really help get this project done. And that is Pence Construction. Lee Zumwalt is here with us today. And Lee is the project executive of Pence Construction. And we're so thrilled that you are here and a part of this project. So I'll welcome you up.
I'll actually take my hard hat off because I'm safe now under this tarp. Thanks, Lisa, for introducing me. Again, I'm Lee Zumwalt. I'm the project executive for Pence Construction. Many of you saw me before at North Salem High School, at McNary High School. If you count the 33 playground projects that we did in the last bond measure, you saw me at 33 different playgrounds. Craig mentioned that we've done multiple projects throughout the district. If you let me count every playground individually, I think it's 48 projects since the last bond measure. So happy to be here, happy to be continuing our relationship with the district. I want to give a shout out to the management team from the school district. Joel Smallwood was introduced. Joel is my boss. Mike is also my boss. Actually, every voter is my boss. The architect team here is my boss as well, but Joel specifically does a great job leading us, organizing his team, and making sure that the construction that's put in place is done with quality standards in place, with time standards in place, and he does a wonderful job managing all of us. So big shout out to Joel for getting us here today. In terms of, I also want to mention a shout out to our design team, Anderson Shirley. This is now our third project in this bond measure with Anderson Shirley, and I do have to say they're one of the most professional, well-run, organized, and partnership-based design teams that we get to work with. So every project is a pleasure. We're at South Salem High School with the same team as well right now, and we're just so happy that we get to continue to work with them and have them design our projects. We get the credit for doing the building, but really that's led by the design, and they deserve all the credit for such a well-composed design. So shout out to Anderson Shirley as well. Oftentimes when I stand up here, I get to be the facts and figures guy. So I want to speak a little bit about economic impact, which is huge from these projects. The project is valued at $40 million. That's our project budget size. From that, you can expect roughly $18 million of that is direct cost in labor. And if you think about that turned into paychecks in our local community, that's roughly $18 million worth of payroll that's going out to the local community. The majority of our subcontractors are local, and then within the trades that they employ, the majority will be local. So that's a lot of living wage jobs that are happening right here, and in these economic times, that's just a huge benefit. So the school district has maintained that as a focus in the way we do our contracting to ensure that the investment in the project is not only an investment in the school itself, but also in the community and the way we spend the dollars. So great job there as well. In terms of facts and figures, that's roughly 276,000 hours. I've got my super special spreadsheet here. In terms of improvement to the school, 13 new classrooms, 4 laboratories, 15 bathrooms, which I thought, well, that's good in a high school. Additional bathrooms, always helpful. And then 25 new faculty spaces. So those are all great improvements. The investment in C-Tech as well is going to be huge here. And I won't bore you with figures on construction itself, but I did count the tons of concrete, and I think we have 4,800 tons of new concrete that'll be installed. So there's a little fact for you. Overall, Pence Construction, super happy to be here. Super thankful that we've continued our relationship with the district, and we're looking forward to make it a successful project. So I'm going to introduce Chad Barks, the principal for the school.
Thank you, Lee, and thank you guys all for being here today. I would like to start by welcoming you all to Sprague. I know the weather hasn't been awesome, but we appreciate you guys coming out and supporting. I know I speak for everybody in this building. We would like to get this started today. Very appreciative of the work that's already gone into the planning. A team of Sprague staff had the opportunity to work with John Shirley and Carl Anderson and their team from Anderson Shirley Architects designing this new space. And I might say fun process. Thank you, John, for the blocks and the pieces of time we got to get together as a team and be creative. We, together as a design team, and I'd like to actually call out all of the members of our faculty that were on that team: Amy West, Clinton Gertenrich, Deanna Alvarez, Jeremy Wanick, Joe Rosca, Kathleen McElliott, Luke Bukite, Phil Rodine, Becca Howe, Bobby Schuler, Amber Reeves, Tara Lee, and our former principal, Craig Swanson. We've come up with some great solutions and a fantastic floor plan for our new Sprague. The list of improvements, which we just heard from Lee, I'm going to go over again. We are going to be expanding programs that prepare our students for success after high school and providing needed classroom space, preserving the public's investment in this facility, and much more. So what are we getting for our $40 million? 17 new general ed classrooms, 2 new modern science labs that will provide us 21st century science instruction, expanded career and technical education spaces, in particular our marketing, sports medicine, and computer-aided design programs. Our additional special ed spaces, which will mean that students in our Sprague feeder system, and this is essential, will get to stay in our Sprague area, come to their local neighborhood high school, and be integrated with their peers. And expanding commons and kitchen, relocation of our main office, which for wayfinding is huge. As you come up onto the property, you'll actually be able to see our main office and know where to head at Sprague. We will see some seismic improvements, additional space and support for our music programs, improved traffic flow and parking. And if you've ever been at Sprague at either the morning or the afternoon, that is a much needed improvement, making sure we can get in and out of this facility quickly. Many thanks to our Salem-Keizer communities for supporting this bond, making these improvements possible for current and future generations of Sprague students. Next, I have the privilege of actually getting to hear from a couple of our Sprague students. So I would like to introduce to the podium. First, we'll have Corbin Stone come on up, share a few words with us, and then Paige Hune will follow as well. Please welcome Corbin up to the podium.
Hello, everyone. My name is Corbin Stone. I'm a sophomore here at Sprague. And to begin, I want you all to imagine your times at the fair or fairground. The laughter, revelry, the community, the overall enjoyment of the experience. Now, there's probably a part of that memory that is not as present. It's the wall of porta potties. Do you remember your experiences with them? How did they compare? Were they comfortable, satisfying? They're a means to an end, an unglamorous necessity to organize some events. And they do their job, but nothing more. They're very utilitarian in that sense. I draw this picture in your mind to help illustrate the feeling that I imagine many of my peers share of the portables. They are the classroom equivalent. They're temporary classrooms. An experience is not pleasant, it's not comfortable, it's not satisfying. They're a means to an end, an adequate placeholder. They do their job of being a box to teach in, and nothing more. They're the barest minimum, and it feels like it. Suffice to say, I'm excited to see a future devoid of classes and portables, and to see a future where we get to learn within the building in new classrooms. And I thank the city, school board, construction, everyone here for making this future possible. Thank you.
Good morning, Sprague community. My name is Paige Huynh, and I'm a current sophomore here at Sprague. First and foremost, I just want to give a special thank you to the Salem-Keizer community for passing this bond. It's great knowing that our district is here to support students as well as their overall success. From the 17 new classrooms, new science labs, expanded CTE programs, and more, these new changes will be highly beneficial to our students and staff in the upcoming years. It will improve students' learning success as well as allowing them to explore and experience their likings for the future. Additionally, students are given more space to create a positive learning environment in which students succeed in. This bond impacts them as well as they are the ones who support students the most. As a student here at Sprague, I'm excited to see the new changes and how they'll impact the rest of my high school years. My peers and I are beyond ready to seek new opportunities. Thank you so much for your time, and as always, go Olies.
Well, awesome. Great job, Corbin and Paige. Thank you so much. That was fabulous. So now I think for the moment we're waiting for the exciting turn of the dirt with the golden shovels. So I'm going to call us up in small groups so we can stay distanced here at the dirt. And then Macy, our photographer, is going to take some photos. And then after we get those photos, I'm going to count to 3 and you'll turn the dirt. Okay? So in our first group, could I please have Mayor Chuck Bennett come on up, and our board director Satya Chandragiri, and Assistant Superintendent Craig Sproles. Come up, please, and choose a shovel. And we have a hard hat for you as well. Great. We have our hard hat fitting here. Okay. Okay, you're ready. Stand with your shovel. Stand ready and smile at Macy. Are we ready? We're ready. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Well done. Good job. And please take your shovel. That is your souvenir of the event. Thank you. Are these real? Are they real? You know, CTEC does really great work. Yeah, sorry, we need the hats back. Sorry, but you can keep the shovel. Okay, group 2. If I could have Lisa Harnish, please, and Corbin Stone come for group 2. Yeah, sorry, watch the dirt there. Are you ready? You're gonna. Yeah, don't space out. Okay, look at Macy. Hold your shovel and look at Macy, the photographer. You ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Flip that dirt. Good. Good job. And take your shovel, please. Keep your shovel. Okay, group 3. Could I please have Principal Chad Barks and Paige Hune? Perfect. Okay, smile for the photographer. Okay, ready? Turn the dirt. 1, 2, 3. Turn it over. Good job. Excellent. And keep your shovel. Keep your shovel, but we'd like the hat back, please. Okay, and for our final round of shovel turners, could I please have John Shirley from Anderson Shirley and Lee Zumwalt, Pence Construction? You did. You're ready. Okay. There you go. Okay. Give Macy a big smile behind that mask. Okay, and she's ready. And on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Give us a big scoop. Perfect. Great job. And keep your shovel. Keep your shovel. Well, thank you, everyone. That concludes our program for today. We appreciate you all being here. Thank you for your support of schools in Salem-Keizer and of Sprague.